Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. and today we got sorry, I've got to turn my phone off. Today we got part 5 because I realized I've been off from this series, so we're gonna finish this up. This is part 5, the 5 Mysterious Unsolved Cases series. We got a bit to go because I completely forgot to do this, and I realized I haven't finished it. So we're gonna continue on. So ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment thing down below. Let's go.
Five Mysterious Unsolved Cases, Part 5. On April 1st, 2014.
Oh, we know this case. We've heard this case many times on this channel. Well, let them talk about this one. I don't have much really to add here.
Dutch students Chris Kramers and Lisanne Froon mysteriously disappeared.
Hold on, I already got to confirm. So, I don't know how. Hold on, I need to go back to where their names are written down. So, looking at this, okay, we got Chris Kramers and Lisanne Froon. Here, we have Chris Kramer and Lisanne Froon. The chapters part of this is atrocious. Jesus.
On April 1st, 2014, Dutch students Chris Kramers and Lisanne Froon mysteriously disappeared while hiking in the popular mountains of Boquete, Panama. The two girls reportedly were walking alone, but were accompanied by a dog named Blue, who was owned by the family with which the girls were staying. Allegedly, this host family became alarmed later that evening when Blue returned home without the girls. Despite this, it took around 3 days for authorities to begin an official search. The girls took with them only a small amount of supplies, including a camera. Photographs recovered on this camera.
Sorry, I feel like I don't think, but I swear, I hear different versions of this story every single time. I feel like there is never a story that repeats itself. Every time this story has been told, something's different about it than the last time I heard it. Because I don't recall ever in a point where they've been said it took 3 days for authorities to begin a search. I don't recall that being said any other time I've heard this.
Show the girls hiking, smiling, and seemingly heading off trail on a route that is designed not for tourists or hikers, but for indigenous people. This trail is, however, fairly clear and easy to follow. Photographs found on the camera also include a large number of mysterious, disturbing, and unclear images, which were taken 7 days after the girls disappeared. These pictures include an image of what appears to be Kramer's bloodied head. The camera was given to authorities along with the girls' shared backpack and its contents. It was handed to them by a local tribeswoman 9 weeks after the girls disappeared. The backpack also contained 2 bras, 2 pairs of sunglasses, 2 cell phones, and $83 in cash. Logs from the cell phones show that they were used to call emergency services on April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The cell phones were also used to check signal on the following 3 days before being disused until April 11th.
So let me read this. So April 1st, 4:30 p.m. call for help. April 2nd, 8:14 screenshot after calling for help. April 3rd, 9:32 a.m. powered on. 9:33 a.m. call 911. 4 p.m. photo lights up. Phone lights up again. April 4th, 10:16. 10:16 a.m. phone switched on and off again. 1:42 p.m. phone is turned off again. No calls. 10:50 a.m. phone is turned on. 10:51 a.m. phone is turned off. 1:37 p.m. phone is switched on but no calls made. 10:26 a.m. phone lights up. The pin is entered. 10:27 a.m. turned off again. 1:37 p.m. phone is switched on but no calls made. Error? Question mark. 1:38 p.m. turned off again. 10:51 a.m. The phone lights up, but the PIN is not entered. 11:56 a.m. Turns off the phone without calls. 4:51 p.m. Call registers 112. 6:58 a.m. Call registers to 113. Phone turns off at 36 seconds. 10:53 a.m. Phone is turned on. Calls 112 and 911. 1:56 p.m. The phone is turned on. 112 call for help from the Netherlands and Panama 911. They connect GSM, and after the call is disconnected. 1:50 p.m. The phone calls without lights. 50 seconds after it is turned off. 1:19 p.m. Phone is turned on, no calls. Then turned off, no calls. 4:50 a.m. 4:50 a.m. Phone is turned on, light. It turns off immediately. 5 a.m. lights up. Then the battery is exhausted, no calls. Interesting. So this phone is always turned on. This is what I find curious about this thing. It keeps repeating itself. 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 9 a.m., 4 p.m., around 9:10 a.m., and around 1 in the afternoon repeatedly, the phones are used. It never really changes. It's always a.m., except for this one really. Most of the time, it's early morning that the phone is used. Rarely ever less than that. It's really interesting here. I don't know where they got this. I'm just curious. Oh, I just realized these are two different phones. This is the iPhone, this is the Samsung. Okay. So the iPhone was used way more. I'm sorry, what? Still, you know. Oh God, no.
No PIN was entered, then the phone was switched off. In August, after extensive searches, authorities eventually found bone fragments of the girls near where their backpack was found. They found 33 fragments. 2 of these belonged to Kramer's. 28 belonged to Froon, and 3 could not be identified. Froon's left foot was discovered still in its shoe. Officially, authorities say that the girls died by falling. They speculate that Kramer's died first, which accounts for photographs of her bloodied head, and that Froon, after trying to leave her friend's body in a discoverable location, then later fell in a different place. The case, however, has many suspicious and alarming details. Firstly, only a relatively small amount of the girls' bones and clothes have ever been found. The bone fragments show no evidence of a fall or contact with animals, and their remains are far too decomposed to account for natural decomposition in such relatively cool weather. Some of the bones are also believed to have been bleached. Perhaps most strangely, there was a photograph deleted from the girls' camera. This photograph is non-recoverable, which implies that it may have been deleted using a computer. The contents of this photograph remain unknown. A number of photos have also not been released to the public. Although the authorities maintain that the girls died in a simple hiking accident, other investigators aren't so sure. In the last 8 years, around 25 unsolved killings and disappearances have occurred in the same region. Most of them happened after the girls went missing.
Oh boy! Oh boy! This is the one that will. This one, me and my friend Chris, you'll meet on this. You might meet on this channel later on next week. Depends, because he's coming to visit me, and we were gonna do videos together. But me and him at times, what plans just never go to plan. We always plan. We say we're gonna do something, and then all this stuff happens. So we'll see. We will see. Anyways. Interesting. So it might have been that those 2 girls were like the first victim of someone or something that took them out. This case, though, back to this one, John Benet Ramsey. Me and my friend did a whole little investigation of our own. We watched multiple different. We watched a documentary thing on it, and we tried to go off all the information we could. And we wrote down everything on like whiteboards, like big whiteboards you kind of put at school, wrote everything down, and just kind of tried to come up with theories and try to find reasons and cross the theories out. Very fun. It was very fun. I actually wish we did that again. I want to do that again. That was more fun on video, because there's some interesting stuff on these.
JonBenet Ramsey was a 6-year-old beauty pageant queen who was found dead in the basement of her parents' home in 1996. She died in the early hours of December 26th. A garrote, which had been used to strangle her, was tied around her neck. She had most likely been sexually assaulted, and she had suffered a fractured skull from a heavy blow to the head. Duct tape covered her mouth. Nylon cord was found around her wrists, and her body was covered in a white blanket. Her body was discovered only a few hours after Ramsey's mother, who was herself a former beauty queen, called authorities to report that she had found a 3-page ransom note in the family home. This ransom note demanded $118,000 from the family for their daughter's safe return. It contains many spelling errors, many strange phrases, and lots of unusual demands. The note was written on paper belonging to the family and was signed with the initials SBTC. When Ramsey...
So, I believe that letter is a load of shit. Pretty much they wrote that on the fly. Because nothing about that letter makes it... There is so much specificness about that letter that makes it almost ridiculous in theory.
phrases and lots of unusual demands. The note was...
Sorry, my thing keeps going backwards.
Was written on paper belonging to the family and was signed with the initials SBTC. When Ramsey's father found her body, he immediately moved it upstairs, irrevocably altering the crime scene. Strangely, Ramsey's mother claims that the clothes worn by the body of her daughter were not the same clothes which she was wearing for bed the previous night. The parents were initially considered as the main suspects in the case, along with Ramsey's 9-year-old brother, Burke, as there was no real evidence of a break-in at the family home. All 3 have since been officially exonerated. Investigators now believe...
I don't think they can be. There is too much about this that just adds up to that family. I don't think at any point I can rule them out as suspects, unless there's something I don't know that rules them out. Nothing about this adds up to them not doing it.
Believe that an intruder did indeed commit the crime. There had been many burglaries and sexual assaults in the nearby region at the time. In 2000, a local man named Gary Oliva was arrested on drug charges and was found carrying a photograph of JonBenet in his backpack. He explained that the reason he had the photo was because he was deeply touched by the case. A friend of Oliva's claimed that he had received a phone call a day after the murder, where Oliva said, quote, "I hurt a little girl. I hurt a little girl." However, Oliva's DNA did not match the DNA found at the crime scene. John Mark Carr, a former elementary school teacher, was arrested in Bangkok and confessed to the crime, but his DNA also did not match anything found at the crime scene. His confession is considered to be false. During the autopsy, pineapple was found in the stomach of Ramsey's body, but her parents cannot remember feeding pineapple to their daughter. The significance of this strange anomaly remains unknown. After all these years, the bizarre...
I think the main theory was that the brother was eating pineapple that she ate. I think that's the theory.
Case still remains unsolved. Some still adamantly believe that the break-in claim is a lie, and there was instead a cover-up by the Ramsey parents and brother. Another wacky theory states that JonBenet Ramsey never died.
Hold on, so what was the other one?
Believe that the break-in claim is a lie, remains unsolved. Some still adamantly believe that the break-in claim is a lie, and there was instead a cover-up by the Ramsey parents and brother.
That's the theory I got.
Another wacky theory states that JonBenet Ramsey never died.
This is stupid. I hate these cases. I hate those theories. There's no why would you fake a death of a 6-year-old for? What do you gain out of it? Especially the 6-year-old. What does a 6-year-old gain out of it?
and she is still in fact living as a world-famous pop singer under the name of Katy Perry, but we're not so sure.
It's not even you're not so sure. Nothing adds up about that. Katy Perry's date of birth, actual date of birth, and it just, nothing about it adds up. That does not work. Piss off with that theory.
"45-year-old fitness instructor."
Alright, I have heard so much of this one that literally I have nothing to add to it. Nothing.
Dr. Terry "Missy" Beavers was found murdered in a Texas church on April 18, 2016. She was at the church to prepare and lead one of her regular exercise classes. Her body, which was discovered by one of her students just before 5 a.m., had a number of brutal puncture wounds to the head and chest. Several of the church doors and windows had been damaged and broken. CCTV footage shows an unidentified person walking through the church just moments before the murder. Strangely and somewhat disturbingly, this person was wearing SWAT gear. In the footage, they can be seen casually vandalizing the church with a hammer. The person's walk has led some to believe that the mysterious figure is a female, though this, of course, cannot be confirmed. Investigators have established that the injuries on Beaver's body were most likely inflicted with a hammer. In the period leading up to the murder, Missy had been suffering from financial problems and marital issues, though her husband denies any role in the murder. She had also allegedly received a creepy and strange message on social networking site LinkedIn from an unknown male. During the investigation, Beaver's father-in-law was questioned by police after taking a woman's bloodied shirt to a dry cleaner. He claims that these stains were the result of a fight between his dog and another, which was confirmed by a local veterinarian. In this video, footage of Beaver's father-in-law and the person in the CCTV footage have been placed side by side. Many people believe that the two walks look very similar, with some stating they look identical. What do you think?
The only way you would know is you would test it. You would have to have him walk wearing that type of outfit. Walk and literally do what that guy did. What this person did. That'd be the only way you'd be able to actually prove it's not him. Or it is him.
Investigators have not yet identified the figure shown in the CCTV images. They are working based on the official assumption that Beavers walked in on a robbery in progress, which unfortunately led to her death. However, this is just a theory, and the case remains unsolved. At 1 p.m. on February 13, 2017, 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German.
This is no longer unsolved. If I am correct, oh God. Yeah, so the guy's been caught. So this is old, okay? This is old. This is 6 years old. This is definitely. This is solved. This is the only one on here so far that's actually solved to my knowledge.
were dropped off by a family member at an old bridge in Delphi, Indiana, to go on a short hike. They were given instructions to return to the bridge at 5:30 p.m. When they did not return, they were reported missing. The following day, their dead bodies were discovered on the trail. They were located only around 1 kilometer from where they had originally been dropped off. Just after 2 p.m. on the day of their disappearance, German eerily uploaded 2 pictures to Snapchat. One of these simply showed Williams hiking happily along the bridge. The other picture ominously showed a man following the 2 girls on their hike.
Yeah, lucky enough, I can definitely say this. This one has been identified, and this guy's been caught and sentenced. I'm pretty sure to life, but I can't say that for sure. I didn't click any of the articles to look into it.
It is believed that this man is the killer of the girls, and that German took this picture in order to help police discover him in case of their deaths. A disturbing audio file was also found on German's cell phone, in which the alleged killer can be heard calmly and quietly saying the 3 words, "Down the hill."
Down the hill. Down the hill. Down the hill. Down the hill.
The exact
there were things I wondered about this, right? Did he have a weapon? Like, did he point a weapon at them too? It's the only something I had, because even looking at the guy, he doesn't look like that. Looks like they could definitely outrun him. So the only assumption I had is they had a weapon and weren't like a gun or something, and they weren't taking the risk.
significance of this phrase is unknown. Authorities have confirmed that this footage is longer in its entirety, but contains disturbing content which is not suitable for public release. Up to now, police have received around 20,000 tips from the public, but have been unable to find the killer. They have also released an e-fit of his face. Autopsies have been undertaken, but police have not yet revealed how the girls were killed, what wounds they had, and whether any weapons were used. Speculation surrounding the case is of course rife, with some guessing that the case may be linked to the murders of Lyric Cook and Elizabeth Collins, 2 young girls who were murdered in 2012 while hiking in Evansdale, Iowa. Some have also speculated that the man who owns the land on which the girls were hiking may be involved. This man is currently serving time in jail for drunk driving charges. The theories continue, as does the investigation. On September 7, 2015, Minnesota resident Corrine McCabe received a strange and disturbing voicemail message from her husband, Henry McCabe. It was sent around 2:30 a.m. In the voicemail,
I don't remember this one at all. I don't know if I've heard this one before. Probably have, but I don't recall it.
growls, groans, and moans can be heard, along with a voice that appears to say, "Stop it." The message then abruptly ends. The 32-year-old man was reported missing the following day. According to some sources, he was last captured on CCTV cameras at a gas station where his friend, William Kennedy, had dropped him off. They, and perhaps some others, had been drinking together at a club in Spring Lake Park. Kennedy had allegedly taken McCabe's wallet in order to stop him from buying more alcohol. According to Kennedy, McCabe had asked to be dropped off at the gas station instead of at home. But what is particularly strange is that the gas station is in the opposite direction of where McCabe lives. His apparent motive for wanting to be dropped off there remains unknown. When Kennedy spoke to the police, he initially gave inaccurate information about where he had dropped off McCabe and inaccurate information about other key details, though as of now, his involvement in the case is not being considered as suspicious. McCabe had also called his brother that night and left a voicemail, but this audio has not been released to the public. McCabe's body was found 6 miles away from the gas station, around 8 weeks later, floating in a lake. The autopsy revealed that he had drowned, though investigators have left the case open, largely due to the disturbing sounds in the voicemail. Speaking to reporters, McCabe's wife, Corrine, said, "I try to picture where he was, what it might have been like, what circumstances would have made him sound like that." There are many inconsistencies in the case, including how many people McCabe had been clubbing with, whether or not he had possession of the keys to his home, and why he was dropped off at the gas station. The exact involvement of Kennedy and McCabe's other friends remains largely unknown. Henry McCabe was a husband and father of 2, and seemingly had no reason to end his own life. Some people believe that the bizarre voicemail sounds like he may have been attacked by some kind of animal, while others believe that it sounds like he was hit with a taser or a stun gun. However, no one can be sure of the truth.
I think both. A taser's a really good one, actually, now that I think about it.
The case continues.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this reaction video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all for the next one.